Today for Devotions with Daniella, we are reading from the book of Daniella, chapter 9. This is All in the Family. You can get signed copies attached here. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 1996. Mary and I were in the schoolroom with the other kids when Mom appeared at the door. My body immediately tensed. My instinct for the unexpected was always fear. Granted permission, we followed her out. I tried to read her mood, tried to understand the emotion she was hiding behind her practiced, serene face. But her posture betrayed her. She almost bounced down the hallway, and it struck me, as it sometimes did, how young she was, how she was really only a few years removed from being a teenager. Once she shut the door to her room, a huge grin burst across her face as she exclaimed, "Your grandpa's coming to live with us." I was completely confused. Grandpa, our prophet, had been dead for nearly 2 years. Had he been resurrected? Then Mom started talking about how great it would be to have her dad in the same house as us, like a real family. Even in the privacy of her bedroom, she dropped her volume as she said it. We could never be too careful. There was always someone around a corner who could question our commitment to the family. It carried weight within the family that Mary and I were third generation, with a grandfather who was important to the leadership. But it also meant that we didn't know him. He was too Selah. My understanding of grandparents was that they gave a lot of presents, and sometimes family kids got to travel to America and vacation with them in places called hotels. I'd only seen hotels when we witnessed in their lobbies and patio restaurants, performing our song and dance and telling them about Jesus, before requesting cash in support. But the family kids with grandparents would actually sleep in hotels sometimes. They'd return from their trips with toys and clothes they got to keep, in case the same relatives visited in the future. I had to work hard to hide my envy. My grandpa being in the leadership gave me status and inspired some awe in my classmates. But mostly I wanted regular grandparents who wanted to buy me things and take me on vacations far away. "Will he bring us presents?" I asked, but Mom didn't know. She explained instead that he would bring our Aunt Charity, who was 9, right between Mary and me. Generational overlap was common in the family. Grandpa Tom showed up one morning with his third wife, Auntie Annie, and little Charity in tow. They were so Selah that I had never even seen pictures of them, so I was amazed that the face of a man could look so much like Mom's. Charity looked like Mom too, beautiful in a way I knew I would never be, and I was immediately jealous of her looks and her clout. Charity arrived with an aura of importance, straight from Mama Maria's house. She'd even known Grandpa when he was alive. I expected to hate her, but when she taught us tricks for stealing money and food from the adults, pretending to find it in legitimate places as gifts from God, my jealousy quickly turned to love. She was one of us. Gramps was bubbly and friendly with a wonderful smile, a worldly t-shirt with a cheeky "I'm not 50, I'm 18 with 35 years of experience" written on the front. And he had brought gifts. Dangly earrings made out of colored crystal in our birthstone colors. Deep blue for Mary and emerald green for me. I'd never seen anything so beautiful in my whole life. The brilliant color reminded me of the jewel in my Queen Esther crown, and the gems I always imagined adorned the box in my mind that housed my secret thoughts. But these jewels sparkled in the sunlight and looked real. My earrings matched the green foliage on the jungle-patterned jumpsuit he brought me, with tigers and butterflies peeking out from the leaves. I wanted to wear it every day, but I controlled myself, knowing it would be taken from me if I was accused of being too cool. And I didn't realize till I was writing this book. I was like, that's why I have so many jungle-patterned jumpsuits and pants and tops.
Hey, Mom.
Yes.
When you were reading earlier, it said that, you and your classmates. I thought you didn't go to school.
No, this was homeschool in our commune. Yeah. For my 10th birthday, a few weeks later, Gramps gave me a brand new copy of The Wind in the Willows, the classic children's book that I proceeded to read over and over until the cover nearly fell off. Because he was so important and the rules had somewhat changed, nobody would dare suggest I couldn't keep the book he gave me. Most of the other kids didn't care about reading, so it was a present I didn't even have to share. And my friend Michaela, that we read about later, she still has this book with my name on it. I knew better than to get used to it, but with the new protections of the charter and with my grandfather in my life, I began to feel less afraid. Gramps and Auntie Annie had been given this big special room upstairs, and we started to spend almost all of our family time together. I loved how his face looked like a reflection of Mom's, and how he seemed to love us from the first day, like we didn't even have to earn it at all. And he was more important than even Uncle Jerry, Jeremy Spencer of Fleetwood Mac. That mattered too. I almost started to believe that I could be happy, that I could be safe. But the pendulum swung again. The charter's new rules required only 6 adults, age 16 or older, to make an official commune. So our compounds started shrinking to branch off all over the world. World Services, the same thing AA calls their international headquarters, World Services, the guys at the top, decided to downsize our home to 50 people. With the exception of Charity and Uncle Jerry's stepdaughters, Mary, Dear, Dorothea, and their other sisters, the commune in Rio would not include families with small children any longer. Since the invention of the internet, Dad could work remotely, so our family, with 5 young children, me, Mary, Timmy, Darius, and Justin, was forced from World Services, the only group we kids had ever known. Gramps was a part of the decision to send us away, and I knew he was acting in what he thought was the best interests of the family, but that didn't make it hurt any less. Despite Mom's beauty, her connections, and her exemplary work, the cruel irony was that it was her very devotion to the Prophet's teachings, going for the gold and averaging a baby every 2 years since she was 15, that ended her advanced secretarial career. But like always, Mom was a true believer. She smiled sweetly when she explained the move to us, praising God and our leaders, never showing her sadness. I was devastated and furious at the thought of losing my friends, who I thought of like sisters. But like so many family moves, there wasn't time to process, and I certainly didn't have any say in the matter. As we said goodbye to our friends, we were introduced to 2 of our new older sisters, Dad's youngest daughters from Auntie Hope, 13-year-old twins, Raina and Jamie, who would join us in our new life. All 7 of Auntie Hope's daughters had been bouncing between communes ever since their mom had been excommunicated for her cancer. Sometimes all the sisters were together. Sometimes they were split up. The leadership eventually decided Dad should take over the 2 youngest. Raina was tall and skinny with brown hair and big glasses, while Jamie was much shorter and curvier with platinum blonde hair and bright blue eyes. And they were about 13. They looked nothing alike and nothing like their dad, which I would soon learn was because they were the biological children of a different uncle, part of the sexual sharing all the aunties had to do. We may have lived alongside each other, but even when it came to Mom and Dad, Mary, and my 3 younger brothers, we didn't really know each other either. How would we function when it was just our unit? We packed up 2 Volkswagen vans with our new family of 9, our flea bags stuffed with our few possessions, and Uncle Jebediah and Auntie Lydia to help us make the 7-hour drive west and inland to the new commune that would be our home. With my Bible and my photo album at my feet, I clutched my precious Wind in the Willows in my arms, even though I knew I'd be way too motion sick to read on the drive. Gramps waved cheerfully the way any good leader would, as if we were any other members leaving on their new mission. I tearfully said a silent goodbye to my family within the family. And then a realization hit me, a sudden ray of light breaking through my sorrow and grief. We were going so far away that I would probably never, ever have to deal with Uncle Jerry again. I had no idea what my life would look like, but I had just enough faith to believe the new charter would protect me no matter what awaited me on the other side of the drive. No horrible uncle would ever touch me again.